We have a lot of very important information to talk about right now tonight. As you may remember this video from toward the beginning of November, that was a while back, where I talked about the very scary real possibility of a crypto market correction, or if you want to call it a crash, you're welcome to do that. And in this video, we talked about exactly why, based on some of the charts across the housing market, across what's happening with the entire greater economy, with the stock market, why we could see a dip happening soon. And in that video, I stated clearly that I was planning to sell, and I did sell a large percentage of my cryptocurrency. Now, the one cryptocurrency that I held all of was my Dogecoin. I sold a number of other ones. I've also been holding my Tking. I've been holding my cocktail bar. I've been holding all of my cryptos that I have been talking about. But with the other ones, I decided to make some sells. And with that, we have seen a lot of that actually starting to become a very real possibility of why that was the right move looking back. So we saw Bitcoin falling from $58,000 at the time when that video was starting to be made, $58,000. It fell from all the way there to, look at it now, at significantly smaller. Well, let me go ahead and find the chart here. So it fell from 58,000 all the way to now, look at this, 53,000. So we saw it falling close to $5,000 since that video has been posted. So a pretty big fall for BTC. And in that video, I also talked about why I was still optimistic about Dogecoin. Now let's check on Dogecoin and what it has done since that time. Dogecoin at just over 22 cents at the time of the posting. Now it's down to 20 cents. So we saw Bitcoin falling around $5,000 versus Dogecoin falling approximately 2 cents. Percentage-wise, Bitcoin is definitely the one that has fallen more compared when you look at the two of them. So that's one thing to keep in mind here. But Dogecoin still has gone down a decent amount. And that's why we're monitoring this closely. We're staying up to date with what's happening with the overall crypto market. And I'm about to show you a few of the stats that may suggest that we have some more things to worry about here. And the truth is, overall, we are not going to see crypto go away. Not even close. The major, huge spike is coming. And January and February and March are 3 months that we see a high probability of that happening, especially after tax season is done, with a lot of people having their first major crypto tax season this season right now. So that's why we're looking at those months as big potential spike months. But before then, it is entirely possible that we could see the market falling even more. And I know no one likes to hear this. Just like when I made this video, we saw a ton of comments saying, Matt, you're wrong. Matt, there's no chance. Matt, don't do it. Matt, the market's going to go up more. And you're right, the market is going to go up more, but the question is not if it's going to go up more. BTC will pass 100,000 almost certainly. Dogecoin is going to pass $1 almost certainly. It's inevitable, but will it fall first beforehand? And that's what we're going to be looking at in this video, so you can make the best decision on exactly what you want to do. Now, if you're not extremely experienced in trading the market, you may not want to try to time it. You may want to just simply hold for the long run and see what happens as more people start to come into the live. Well, that's definitely true. There's no question about that. Dogecoin has a ton of support at just under 20 cents. We've been continuing to see that happen over and over and over again. But this is the first chart we need to look at when analyzing what's about to happen with the crypto market, because the housing market is in many ways tied to it. You can see this shows the supply of homes since 1983, and they've stayed pretty steady around that 2M level before we saw a pretty dang large drop right here in 2020 of the supply of new homes being created. Now, part of that is because there's less land, there's less homes available, there's a huge amount of people coming into this country that continues to cause the price of housing to go up. But this is still pretty insane when you see how big of a drop it is. This is the lowest it's been since significantly before 1985, and so that's one of the reasons that housing prices have gone crazy. Now, the truth is that may not stay that way very long. Another thing that we've seen is the mortgage rates absolutely being tiny. You can see HomeFinity, Ally Bank, First Mortgage Direct, all of them at mortgage rates of under 3%, which is pretty dang insane. And you don't see that normally in the crypto or in the real estate market. This is causing people to want to buy houses, because why wouldn't you? When the inflation rate is 5% and you're only paying 3% a year in terms of your interest, well, of course you're going to want to buy property. So that's causing that to go up. The thing is, though, those interest rates are likely about to start rising again. They're not going to be staying this low forever. A part of this is because of what happened with the situation in the world. Not going to stay the way it is forever. Then good time to sell versus good time to buy. A lot of people saying now is a good time to sell. You can see When the first world situation started happening, we saw it going down massively. Now, though, it has come back up in a extraordinary fashion, going to nearly 70% of people who say it's a good time to sell, and only approximately now 40 or so percent of people who say it's a good time to buy. Not going to stay that way once again for very long. Builder prices as well are going up. So what is the entire point of talking about this? It is that once we start to see, if it happens, housing prices crashing, that is going to lead most likely to people wanting to buy into real estate more as an investment, which could cause the price of crypto to temporarily go down first. And we're also looking at what's happening with the overall stock market. We're looking at what's happening with people being scared to hold their money in certain areas. And so that's why I predicted that may happen soon. And that's why I'm still a little bit wary, even though at this price, it's significantly easier to want to buy and hold onto Dogecoin, because the chances of it falling much further are continuing to drop the more that we see the price itself dropping. Now it's at around 20 cents. So it's significantly different than if you're looking at buying it at 27 cents, which is a significantly riskier time to do that. But this is also an important chart here. 1999 to present, the gap between rental and home ownership costs. You can see the cost for renting is around $2,000 per month on average. Then we are seeing the cost of actually paying that mortgage at around $2,200. So only $200 more. That's a pretty small gap, and it makes people way more inclined to want to buy a house. Some interesting charts there that I think are very important at looking at when it comes to not just the crypto market, but the overall market in general. If you've been looking to buy a house, you may want to hold off until January, February, March, the same months that we're looking at the overall correction happening. So it's really fascinating to see these two dueling things coming up against each other, and the only way we can protect ourselves is by looking at the stats and the data. BTC falling 5.8% today, a little bit more of a fall even in the last hour. Dogecoin not falling as much. That 20 cents level is a very strong mental standpoint where people are saying this is the currency that has Elon Musk behind it. He's continuing to support it. We have the Robinhood wallets coming out in Q1 of 2022. It's going to be put on the moon in 2022, very possibly. So why the heck am I not going to look at 19 cents and say that's a dang good price to go in? People continuing to do that, and Dogecoin holding relatively strong there. And this is why I like Dogecoin more. That mental place of under 20 cents is extremely strong for so many investors investing in Doge, whereas a lot of these other cryptos don't have that. They don't have a mental barricade where people are going to most likely stop selling, which is why Dogecoin has actually fallen less than pretty much all of the other top cryptos in the last 24 hours. Dogecoin falling 4.98% versus Polkadot falling 6.4% versus XRP, which fell more than that at 5.66%. Cardano down 9.49%, huge fall for Cardano. Even Solana, which is one of my favorites long term, unfortunately is down 10.7% in the last 24 hours. Binance down 5%, Ethereum down 7%, Bitcoin to 53,000 at 5.9% down. So $4,200 for Ethereum and 53,000 for Bitcoin is not what you want to see at all. We saw it going up to size 69,000 earlier this month. Now we're looking at a very different type of market. Are we entering a bear market is the question. The answer is that's hard to say. So is it going to be a full-on bear market? Most likely no, because the optimism is still there long term. Really, it's other factors outside of what we just see with market sentiment alone that are causing this drop, and that's why it's more of a temporary thing that's not going to last years like a typical bear market might last. When you think bear market, you don't think a small drop within a matter of months. You think long-term fallage, you think long-term low levels with not a lot of excitement. That's not what we're looking at here for the overall crypto market. So I want to make sure I continue to distinguish between those two sides, those 2 points. I don't want anyone saying, Matt, you're being too pessimistic, because we're not. We're just looking at the facts, just like we did in that video 2 weeks ago, where a lot of people said the same type of thing, but we have to still continue to look at the facts, regardless of if it's popular or not. This video from 2 weeks ago, new chart shows the worst news for crypto. Since then, like I said, we have seen a pretty dang big fall, unfortunately, for the cryptocurrency market. And that didn't mean, keep in mind too, that didn't mean there was a 100% chance of happening. All we do is look at the stats and say, this has a higher chance of happening now versus what the chance was a few days ago or a few weeks ago or a few months ago. That's all it really comes down to. As we also see this guy, Charlie Munger, this is pretty crazy. I mean, we'll still take a second to call the silly gooses here. Charlie Munger says he wishes cryptocurrency had never been invented. And get this, he admires China for banning them. My gosh, think about this. So this guy, Charlie Munger, who is an American billionaire investor, former real estate attorney, businessman, vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, one of the largest investment groups, he has benefited more from the freedom provided by the United States than pretty much anyone else on the entire planet. He's a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, a ton of money in his bank account, one of the richest people on the planet, and yet he is now encouraging the type of activity that goes directly against all of the things that made him have the ability to be successful in the first place. You want the United States to be like China and start banning stuff? You want them to take away the freedom, Charlie? What an absolute nincompoop, Charlie Munger. The truth is, he probably is just trying to reminisce about his early days back in the 1400s when this guy was born. I mean, for goodness sakes, what the heck are you doing, Charlie? One of the most ridiculous statements, and it truly actually is one of the first times I've ever on this show genuinely felt a little bit of anger here. I don't normally let myself get to that point, but when you, as a billionaire who made it extremely big in this country, seen some cool things happen from the freedom that was allowed to you, imagine if the government had tried to ban some of the things you were investing in when you started out. I mean, what absolute bull here. And we're not talking about the good kind of bull, like a bull market. We're talking about the bad kind. This guy is in cahoots with Warren Buffett, losing a huge amount of respect for these two guys, both of them today. Yeah, that's right, Warren. I'm losing respect for you as well for associating with this guy. Charlie is absolutely on his final amounts of talking here because he does not have any clue what he's saying. China banning crypto being a good thing is only the type of thing that you want to say if you're about to move to China and you're scared of the government. Charlie, are you moving to China? Is that what you're going to do? Go ahead. I mean, you know what? I'll even pay for your, I don't care if you're a billionaire. I will pay for your ticket to move to China right now, Charlie. Go ahead and move there. Enjoy the banning that's going on there. If you like it so much what they're doing, then have fun over there. We don't want you here anymore, buddy. Take your billions, take your ball. We don't want to play anymore and go the heck home. My gosh, what an absolutely ridiculously and easily shameable statement coming in from Charlie. I had to destroy him. Sometimes after a roast we'll say, but no worries, nothing personal here. Well, this one is actually extremely personal. I mean, I actually genuinely am frustrated and upset with this dude for saying what he said and even putting that out there at all. I mean, what ridiculousness. Okay, calm down, Matt. It's okay. It's just words. It's just words, Matt. Don't lose your cool. Matt, don't snap. I know. I'm calm. All right. Hold me back from Charlie there. Charlie, you don't want to come around these parts. Not really though. We're not gonna do anything to you, Charlie. Just please go to China. That's all we're saying. FBI seized roughly 2.3 million in cryptocurrency tied to ransomware attacks. This is another thing that we're seeing overall in the negative direction for the market. We are seeing some more fraud, some more ransomware, some more scammers trying to take a hold of people's crypto. The real thing you got to worry about here, just do not fall for the links, do not fall for the scams, the phishing attempts. As long as you're staying away from those, as long as you don't give anyone your account info, even if they seem real, don't be in the comment section looking at people saying they can help you make money. A lot of them are fake comments from fake people. So do not ever do that, and you should be good. You should be able to stay away. Ransomware are a little bit different because it's a direct direct attack on your computer. So it's harder to avoid that. Make sure using VPN can help you. There are a number of things you can do to stay safe there, even though it is definitely not a positive thing. Now, the good news is we have seen some cryptos actually doing well. Tking has gone up a huge amount in the last 48 hours, over 150% for a time, even as high as 180% in a single day period. It's back down a tiny bit now from that overall high point, but still impressive, incredible stuff coming in there after it did look a little bit gloomy for a bit for Tking. So shout out there for the people who were holding through that dip. Hopefully we will see it doing some more cool things into the future, and just like what we're hoping for with Dogecoin, which has also seen a little bit of a similar downward direction that we didn't want to see for it because of the overall market sentiment and because of what's happened with NFT energy going down some, and some of the decisions I wanted to make on the project, unfortunately because I'm only a part of it, I was not able to make, but I'm going to be definitely having more influence and trying as good as I can to help that project really take off in the future. So don't worry, we are going to be looking at it. Dogecoin, by the way, at 19.9 is, I think, a pretty dang good price for it. I will, of course, be looking at this very favorably, and I'm going to buy some more Dogecoin after I get off the live here. Why the heck not? You want to be averaging in at low prices for the most part in crypto, and this is a price I feel very comfortable putting my money into Dogecoin, even though and this may be a little bit hypocritical, I feel less comfortable putting my money into Bitcoin at this price. Now, the truth is, if Bitcoin falls a lot, we could see Dogecoin going down to around 15 cents, but the chances of it going much lower than that are very small. And we will see Dogecoin bounce up way faster if there's a market correction first and then the other cryptos. That's just the way it is with all the catalysts that are coming for it. So I feel comfortable holding long term, knowing that the benefits outweigh the risks, even though there are some risks associated with it. And the risks are fortunately not as big as the risks with a lot of the other cryptos right now. The number of transactions you can see right here in the last month, it's been relatively steady, not extremely high. We're hoping that changes very soon here with Robinhood Wallets, and we know for a fact it is going to, and that's been a huge catalyst for Dogecoin moving forward. If you're actually spending it, you're way more likely to hold it long term because you have a direct use case for it. And it's also going to expand into the ability for more developers to add some more cool things onto Dogecoin that maybe we haven't been even expecting. That's coming. So there are some still things to be excited about, even regardless of anything else. Dingus Chubb says, like spike for Final Stand. It's a negative video, but I definitely appreciate that. The truth is, we don't often get as many likes or views on negative videos. Why? Because it's negative. It makes sense. This is just for those of us in the community who want to hear all the information, but the people who don't want to hear it, they don't come in. That's okay. You don't have to if you don't want to. But anyway, I'm Matt Wallace. Hopefully you have a good night despite the badness here. Thinking about the future is really the best way to do that. But anyway, I'm Matt Wallace. This is Final Stand, and I will see you in the next video.